Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning, and welcome to the very last day of this very short Florida Horror Week within 31 days of Horroween. Very short week, I know, but we are just getting started with the October festivities, so it is a very good time to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm posting a video every single day of the month of October. Really quick, before I get too into anything, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. It's always there. So today we are going to be doing y'all's like new favorite thing that I do on this channel, which is the tier like ranking list thing. But the theme is going to be, as you can see from the title, scary things about Florida. I make it very well known on this channel that I am from this batshit crazy state, which is home to the Skunk Ape, Florida Man, and Ron DeSantis. So I'm here to give you a quick little guide to this insane state and rank all of these things by how scary they are to Floridians. We're back at our trusty tier ranking list, and the very first thing we're gonna do, warning if you're afraid of bugs, so palmetto bug, which is just a regional way of saying a regular run-of-the-mill cockroach. These bitches are fucking scary, and it's like already gross enough when you see one and then this bitch like opens up its fucking wings and flies at you when you try to kill it. Pretty scary. Not quite as scary as spiders, but still pretty scary, I gotta say. Especially when they like fucking just like fly. You're like this close to killing it, and out of nowhere it just like fucking flies into your face. So I feel like I'm gonna put this one like right in the middle. Let's see. Like, I'm not unafraid of them, but I'm not terrified of them. So there we go. Next thing is this picture I'm just using to represent Florida drivers. I feel like every state has its complaints about the drivers. They're bad for many different reasons. Florida drivers, I feel like, are a very volatile combination of like type A personality, aggressive, and stupid. You wonder how they pass their driver's test because they just fail to follow basic rules of the road. The biggest one being turn signals. Like, if I see a turn signal while driving around here, it is a weird day. Like, I might as well do a lottery ticket or something, because nobody uses turn signals. They'll just slam on their brakes and then make the turn, and you just gotta hope you don't get into an accident. The thing is, it's like I'm used to... The bird is back, so just ignore the tapping. I'm used to Florida drivers, but at the same time, they're very aggravating and very frustrating. So, I feel like I might put them up at B level just because of like the fear I feel of like getting into an accident, because they happen so often, because people are just like, they're the most important driver ever and they have to get where they're going, and they'll do stupid shit like run red lights and get into car accidents and things. So they're pretty scary. So next thing that y'all knew I had to include on this list is a gator. Of course I have to include an alligator on here. That's what we're known for, I guess, alligators. I feel like maybe a little misunderstood. They're not these horrible, terrifying monsters that everybody makes them out to be. They're only scary when, like most animals, I feel like, when you come into their habitat and mess with their shit. That's when they get scary. Depending on the terrain you encounter one in, they're fairly easy to get away from. If you're like on dry land like this, an alligator's not going to chase you very far. They can run quite fast, but they're not going to chase you. It's really in their territory you have to worry. But if you are in their territory and one decides to have some fun with you, they're pretty scary. So I feel like I'm gonna put the alligator in A tier. A for alligator. So next on our list, kind of similar to an alligator, is a shark. We're not, I guess, maybe like well known for any certain type of shark or anything that I know of, but I know we are like in the top 5 or top 3 or something most shark attacks in the world. I think it's the East Coast. most of the shark attacks are not fatal. It's not like we're #1 for most shark deaths in the world, I don't think. But I feel like the alligator, misunderstood animal. Like, they don't, like, it's movies. Movies really make them seem like they just straight up hunt people just because. So still kind of scary in a predator sense. Honestly, I don't think they're as scary as alligators, to be quite honest. So I feel like I gotta put sharks in the B tier. I mean, this isn't just a Florida thing, but the company originated in Florida, and I feel like we have the most of these in our state. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. This isn't scary. I guess really the only reason I put this in here is because like when us Floridians travel anywhere where there's not a Publix. I don't know if you've heard any like Floridian or any other Southerner talk about Publix. The hype is real. The amount of grocery stores I've been to in other states, I'm sorry, they just don't compare. Like, shopping literally is a pleasure in Publix. They're the greatest, and I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find another grocery store that makes better sub sandwiches. So, I mean, like the thought of living somewhere that doesn't have a Publix, God tier scary, but in and of itself, not scary at all. Quite fantastic, actually. I just wanted to put that in there for fun. Next is a haunted location. There's a lot of haunted places in Florida. I literally could have included, like the whole thing could have been haunted Florida places, but I haven't been to all of them. So, wow, the bird is really going off over here. Holy shit, man, chill. You're gonna hurt yourself banging into the window so much. Okay. I haven't been to every haunted place though, nor do I know a lot about every haunted place in Florida, but I wanted to include this one because this is probably, aside from the Tampa Theater, the closest place to me that's like one of like the top haunted locations in Florida, and that is the Don Cesar Hotel on St. Pete Beach. You can look it up. There's some pretty scary stories to have come out of this hotel, but I think the real terror of this hotel is how fucking salmon it is. Like, I don't know if this this picture really captures how massive this building is. It is huge. The Scientology building in Clearwater could never. The color, that is, the architecture is quite pretty, but the color is butt ugly. So I feel like that's the scariest bit, and it's like literally if you drive anywhere in St. Pete, I feel like you could just see this everywhere. In terms of hauntedness goes, I do want to like stay here overnight and do a video on it, but so for now I'm gonna put it in the D tier. D for Don Cesar. I don't know. All right, next is quite possibly one of the scariest things you can encounter in Florida, and that is the humidity. I'm not fucking kidding. It's ridiculous. You probably hear people from around these parts say it all the time. It's not the heat, it's the humidity that's gonna get you. Like, literally. I've been to places like Colorado where it's very dry heat, and honestly I was like, fine, I'm fine. It, like 95 degrees somewhere that has like dry heat like that is nothing compared to like it being even 90 degrees with almost 100% humidity. Fuck that shit. Like, literally, it's like I can't even last for a minute outside without getting overheated and sweating and ugh. B tier for humidity. I spend most of my time inside though. You know what? Let's put it in C. Yeah. I love how it's like one of the scariest things in Florida. I was joking a little bit, obviously. Next is one that hopefully you guys were expecting me to include in here. It's very quintessential Florida. Hurricanes. Of all the pictures I could have chosen to represent a hurricane, I represent this one because in Florida, hurricanes are just not that big of a deal. In all seriousness, the devastation that has happened in parts of Florida from hurricanes is not a laughing matter. But the way we treat hurricanes down here is pretty funny. Maybe even in a kind of scary way, like how nonchalant we are about them, or we treat them more like it's party time. Everyone come to so-and-so's house during the hurricane and we're all gonna get drunk. Honestly, real Floridians, we don't start worrying about a hurricane until it's at least a category 3. maybe category 4. Honestly, if it's like a cat 1 or 2, like we're not even blinking an eye, to be honest. We're probably just gonna go about our day like normal. So to be honest with you, even the worst hurricane I've been in, I feel like wasn't even that scary. So I'm gonna put a hurricane on E tier, at least from what I've experienced. Next one, I've done a video about this before and I had to ask permission to, even though I didn't take this picture, I felt like I still have to ask permission, and that is Robert the doll. If I can find the video, I'll link it up at the top if you want to hear more about Robert the doll. His home is in Key West, Florida, and honestly, this doll freaks me out so much, and I'm not even really scared of dolls, that I wish I lived like in the Panhandle or like Maine or something, like just get as far away from this doll as possible. But I'm glad he lives in the Keys, which is a nice like 7-hour drive from me. Yeah, Robert the doll's quite scary. A lot of scary stories that have come out of people who have like taken his picture without permission. I don't know what the rules are on using pictures that have already been taken of Robert, but nothing bad happened to me after the first video, so I feel like me asking permission for that was enough. But freaks me out, and he lives way too close. Sorry, Robert, you're in God tier. Or maybe that's a compliment to you, I'm not really sure. Next one, of course, I have to include Florida Man. When you search Florida Man on Google Images, you get a lot of mugshots, and I don't want to use anyone's mugshot, so I'm just gonna use our bootlicker governor, Ron DeSantis, to represent Florida Man. I think everybody knows Florida Man at this point. We're known for our very insane news headlines. There's always something batshit crazy happening in Florida, and if you hear a crazy headline and it doesn't say Florida Man in it, chances are it's Florida Man. Honestly, it's not even really a joke. It's just kind of weird. I think the scariest thing about Florida Man is how unpredictable he is. You never know what's gonna happen. It could just be something kind of silly, crazy, or it could be something like shooting up a McDonald's or something because, you know, they got there like 5 minutes too late for breakfast or something. So Florida Man's a little bit unpredictable. So I feel like A tier for Florida Man. All right, we only got 2 more here. Of course, I had to include our very own cryptid, Skunk Ape, which is basically just Sasquatch, but for Florida. Also known as Swamp Cabbage Man, and I'm not joking. Honestly, you really have to look up stuff about Skunk Ape. I don't know if maybe it's just like not my neck of the woods in Florida. I feel like he's not as popular as Sasquatch. So I don't know enough about Skunk Ape, just kind of like the basics, to be scared of him. And I don't think I live in his neck of the woods in Florida. So honestly, I'm not scared of Skunk Ape. F tier. We have a nice rounded out board this time. I feel like if there was another tier above S tier, I would put this here, and that is basements. I talked a little bit about this in my review for Crawl, which if I can find it, I'll link it up here. So I had to give a little geography lesson in that review. If you're not from Florida, we don't have basements here. That's an actual thing. Maybe up in like the Panhandle, very North Florida, you can get some basements or some crawl spaces, and it's mostly because of the limestone and the Floridan aquifer that is beneath us. Yeah, it's just yeah, you can't do it. So we don't have basements, and I've lived here since I was in kindergarten, so almost my entire knowledge of basements comes from horror movies where all of the scary shit happens. It always happens in the basements. Basements are always scary. Like every time I think of a basement, I think of a picture like this, like you're seeing on the screen. It's just a horrifying thing. In the future, when I don't live in Florida anymore and I have a house with a basement, it needs to be finished. I refuse. I refuse to entertain even the idea of having a basement that's unfinished and just scary as shit. No. Yeah, so basements scare the fuck out of me. I don't know. It's something about being below the ground. It just feels unnatural. I don't like it. S tier for the basements. Not okay. So there you have it. that's my ranking of all of these quintessential Florida things. So scariest things we've determined: basements, Robert the Doll, gators, and Florida Man, which seems pretty accurate to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed Florida Horror Week and 31 Days of Horroween. I will see you tomorrow with a whole new theme, whole new costume, and the whole week of videos. So until then, stay strange. Bye.